Well, it's time to get the early potatoes planted. You can see what the ground was like before we started here this morning. Quite rough. The weeds are beginning to grow, so it's ideal time to do it. And the first thing that Mary did, not me, was to fork the ground into a sort of smaller bits. Then we tramped it just to firm it up, and now the fertiliser goes on for the first row of potatoes. This is ounces to the square yard, you know, sort of. There we go. And it's kind of placement either side of the row where the tatties are going. Right, Mary, let me pass, I'll get the line.
Okay.
On you go. You keep on going. You don't want to stop fault working. The next thing to do is to get the line set. Then we'll be planting the early potatoes. And the first one is Abbott. Now, I've never grown Abbott before, but Miss B grew Abbott on the decking last year, and she compared it with Rocket and thought it was much better than Rocket. So it's been promoted to the full vegetable plot. And we're going to plant them today. And you reckon from planting time, sort of 12 weeks or so, we should be harvesting some nice totties. Then we'll follow on, we'll have Maris Bard, which is another well-known early potato. It goes in next, in the next row. And then it'll be second earlies and early main crop, and so on. So, now then, Mary, is that straight?
I'd say so. Perfect.
We used to say, this is a Scottish phrase, a man with a corky and a blunion would never notice, right? And we plant them about, are you going to do the planting, dear?
Yes.
Good for you. I'll put them out about a foot apart, 30 centimetres if you're metricated, and we look forward to a handsome crop of Abbott. From planting, it takes about 12, 14 weeks, much depends on the weather, before you've got a crop worth harvesting. Next would be the second earlies, and they take a little bit longer, so you finish up with a continuous supply of new potatoes, which is the whole point. What's the soil like? Because it's been freshly done, you see, it's quite easy to handle.
Easy to handle, yep. And it's more tatties on the decking, but of course here we'll be growing them in containers. And I always like to try something slightly different because I don't know how many years that I have grown tatties in containers, but it's well worth it. So this year I'm using this container, which we tried last year, really successful, very happy with it, and it's still looking good. The cost of that is around about £2.70. But if you're maybe trying for the first time and you don't want to spend too much money, we found these containers and they only cost £1. Perhaps a little bit more flimsy, I don't know how long they will last, but it's well worth a try. Also, because it's slightly bigger, I reckon I can get 4 tubers into this one. And variety-wise, now Jim, he was planting earlies. These are second earlies. It's a variety called Jazzy, and they're going to take a couple of weeks longer. So instead of 12 weeks, maybe 14, perhaps 15 weeks before we can harvest them. Compost is in the bottom, just a few inches. Then you put the tubers in. Then we put a little bit more compost to cover the tubers, and then as the shores start to grow, you gradually fill up that container. So that's Jazzy, and in the catalogues they actually say that's a salad potato and it might be as good as Jersey Royal, so we'll definitely have to have a taste test with that one. I've also got Elfie, another second early, never tried it before, and Jemson, another second early, also that's meant to be a good salad potato. So we will have 6 containers.